Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
The Celtics swarm the floor. It is the end of a 22-year odyssey. It is the very definition of full circle. It is banner 17.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And the title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome into episode 24 of a New Era podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy online. And next to me today is my dad, the OG Frid. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners this morning?
Well, good morning, Hanson. Good morning, listeners. Let's get a good podcast going today. Number 24.
Number 24. After we had number 23 and a half Friday night. Use this opportunity to recap that a little bit for those of you that weren't there for our live watch party of the NBA Finals Game 4. We did that on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch Friday night and had a bunch of fun outside of the game being a blowout. We are going to be doing that again today around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time because I think that's when the game starts. I should probably look because I'm looking at it right here. Yeah, it is 8:30. So we'll be on live again 8:30 today with a little watch party. Just me and Dad looking to see the Celtics actually raise up banner 18 and close out this series. I had something that I was going to say about it, and now I completely forgot. That was literally just in my head. How did you feel about it, Dad? Did you have a bunch of fun Friday doing our first live anything for this podcast?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a learning experience as the weekend unfolded and your sister had opportunities to, especially on Father's Day, make fun of me. She said, I need to talk more on the live podcast, or on the live broadcast. And I'm like, it took me a while to get this podcast thing going. And now I think I do pretty well, minus screwing up people's names here and there, which that's why you're here to help me. But I think I'll do better on this live one. More. Yeah.
I think it's something you'll get the hang of.
I think too. I mean, from the get-go,
there wasn't much to talk about. That
we just saw us getting.
We were just getting fucking pounded the whole game. Like it was, yeah. Hopefully it's a little different tonight. You mentioned Father's Day. Obviously, it occurred this weekend, and we've got some of the events to talk about, especially the big one that happened yesterday and throughout the week. But I just want to take the second, Dad. I know it's a little late, but I didn't talk about it last week on the podcast. I want to wish you a happy belated Father's Day here.
Thank you.
You're my best friend, probably my biggest role model, and I couldn't be doing any of this without you. And very happy to finally get to the point where we are with this podcast and making content and doing it weekly. So I appreciate you. I love you. Happy belated Father's Day.
Oh, thanks,
we'll do it again
buddy.
next year.
Yeah. Maybe we do a live one.
That'd be kind of cool.
It would have been cool, though. And yes, I'm jumping the gun. And yes, I always do that during these things. You guys already know this about me. But yeah, it would have been awesome if we could have been live at yesterday's huge event that's local, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. But
maybe we just jump into it right now.
That's what I'm saying. I kind of want to talk about it first because, it was an incredible finish. So he's talking about the U.S. Open, obviously, occurred in Pinehurst over the weekend with a great finish yesterday. I didn't watch really any of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I just couldn't get around to it. I was watching a lot more college baseball, I'll be honest. But I did watch almost all of the It was like the last couple hours. I think I saw most of Bryson's last round.
Yeah.
I think I started watching when he was on like hole 4.
Yeah. We didn't get back home until I think he started. Yeah, I think
he teed off at like 2:21.
2:21, and we got home, I think probably around 10 minutes later. When I say we got home for Father's Day, we ended up heading to the Carolina Hotel. Got there shortly around 11 o'clock. And it was just wanting to be in the town. When we drove up, we could see them playing along one, although they had some high barriers up, but you could see just fans around, just the town itself. I mean, took me about 9 minutes to find a parking space. I had to drive down they weren't let you park at the resort. So as my walk back up, I'm talking to Hanson because he had texted me about Happy Father's Day, and I'm just about getting close to the hotel, and end up seeing Ola. He was walking by. He's a YouTube influencer in the golf community, and had a chance to go up and say hi to him. And Hanson was on the phone when I was doing it, and I was looking for Fat Perez, dude.
I was about to say, are you looking for Bob and them?
I was looking for Bob and Fat. I mean, that's where that all started for them.
At Pinehurst?
At Pinehurst number 2.
Mm.
Yeah. The story is that they invited, I mean, they had, these little Zoom type things during COVID, but they invited Fat Perez down to play, and that was their first round. They all played together. Pinehurst number 2.
That's cool. We're gonna have to play it sometimes. I've still got that gift card I need to use.
Yeah. I mean, just you had your opportunity, and yes, we didn't have tickets, and we weren't walking the course, but still, just being in the town, just being so close, just the environment, it was so cool. Your mom and I have done this now. On the Sunday, we did 2 years running, and we'll run it again for the British Open in July. We just love going there. It just being in the Mecca, one of the Meccas of golf, Pinehurst. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, and I looked at this with Reese yesterday when we were watching it. Sadly, won't be here for another couple of years, but back in 2029, I think we
double. Yep.
I think we got to go to that one. I think we really got to go to that one. I would have loved to go this year. I saw a bunch of people out there this year that I knew, at least pictures and stuff that went out on Sunday. But
no.
Well,
yeah, we're either, although cost is very prohibitive to get tickets and all, but while we were at the end, I mean, just speaking to a number of employees and people around, a Friday or a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a practice round is relatively inexpensive. And, I think almost going to be as fun or even funner, if that's a word.
It's not more fun
than the actual tournament, only because, they may interact even more with you while they're doing stuff, and you get to see them, putt and do this at certain levels of the course and stuff. So that might be a pretty cool thing to do. And then, I mean, just what they did to transform that course, and with the merch tent and all, we heard a couple cool things that a week before the merch tent is open, and you don't have to pay anything to get in. And I mean, obviously you have to pay to buy stuff, but a week before the event, all that was just open to the public to come in. And for us to be so close. I think it's and getting your mom. So I mean, she really loved watching it yesterday. She's a big Rory fan, and
Is she?
huge. She was rooting for him the whole way, and yeah, I mean, for him to make that comeback from 3 strokes down, the Frenchman Pavon, I mean, I felt as if he wasn't going to be able to withstand a Sunday major, and he was going to fall apart. The gala started to show up. I mean, not the gala, I'm sorry, Tony Finau.
Tony Finau. I love me some Tony Finau, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, he's fun to watch. And he was one of those ones too, where it's like, I was watching it and he was making his run. It's just like, this is good. He's hitting some good shots. He's putting himself in good position to birdie some stuff, to pick up some strokes. But it was a little one of those where you see it and it's just like, this might be just a little too late. Now, hindsight, it might not have been. I mean, he ended off, I think, at 4 under, 3 under, 4 under. And it's like, damn. So if Rory or Cantlay and DeChambeau, if they all had just a couple holes on that back 9 where, they bogeyed a little, like Rory's bogey on 18, like there's a chance. I was sitting here watching it with Reese and I was like, dude, could you imagine if we get like a 4-player playoff here at 4 under? That would have been super cool.
Well, if you looked at Tony's card when they finished up, I mean, he was what? I think it was 60.
He shot a 67 yesterday.
Right. So Thursday, I think, was 68. Friday, 69. Saturday was 72. And then a 67. So if, you look at that, if he could have even gone par on Saturday, he was in the mix.
Yeah, damn.
In the mix.
That's crazy to think about.
I mean, so the event itself, the final few holes, and we already talked. Your mom's a big Rory fan. I know your thoughts about Bryson.
I like Bryson.
Yeah,
I used to like kind of not. I mean, I think with everybody, with the whole Brooks thing, and it was like, well, you either side with one or you hate them both, And I liked Bryson at first, and then it was like both these guys are kind of fucking annoying, and now it's like I really can't stand Brooks, but Bryson, as he is with a bunch of other people that were never a fan of him, I think he's growing on a bunch of people in the sport, not only just with the YouTube content and stuff he's making, but just, I mean, you watch him, and he is one of the best fucking golfers in the world. I mean, he's incredible. He had, I think, I saw this image, I think on like 10 out of 18, 11 out of 18 holes yesterday, drove it above 300. His longest drive was 374.
Yeah,
379.
379. 379.
I mean, dude, he's incredibly talented. If you can get over the thing of some people being like, well, he's fucking corny because of the YouTube shit. If you can get over that, you can really realize and you can appreciate him as a damn good golfer and now a 2-time US Open champion.
Well, I think that the YouTube that he's doing, and I absolutely love watching YouTube golf. I've gone on the bandwagon. I love watching, although good is starting to get, a little for me, kind of.
Yeah.
Bob Does Sports, whenever they're on, love all their challenges. Love watching those guys. Love them. How they interact and all. Grant Horvat, Micah Morris, I love watching them. Even though their stuff is, almost similar day in, day out. The Bryan brothers, love them. Just love their personalities. And yes, Bryson as well. I do like to watch his content. I like to, his personality is just starting to grow, and I think the YouTube helped him be that person on the course that he probably always has been, obviously, but
it's more noticeable now. You see it. It was one of the first questions he was asked. afterwards. It was like, the first time you won this, 2020, COVID, nobody in the crowd. You're walking up, you're making that champions walk to 18, and there wasn't the roar of the crowd and the applause. And then he was like, well, this time around, it really looked like you were feeding off the crowd, and which he was, and he was interacting with them. He was talking to him. He was cracking jokes. There was one hole, I can't remember which one it was, but and I don't even know if it was Sundays. I saw this clip last night, but he was talking to his caddy about like trying to get over. I don't know if it was some water or something, but they were like, the smarter move is just lay it up here, go for the next shot. And he was sitting there and he was like, fine, fuck it. And he looks at him. He's just like, I'm sorry, guys. Don't be mad at me. I got to lay this up. And everybody was laughing about him. But I think it's good because I think, like you're saying with the YouTube and everything, and he's opening up more. And it made him feel a lot more comfortable around the fans and really feeding off that yesterday, which then in turn, at the end, 18, when he puts in that par to win it, I mean, just the emotion of that moment was awesome. And I think that is all fueled behind, how he was dealing with the fans and how he was dealing with the eyes on him all day. And just to see it all come full circle, granted, a very sad way for it to happen for Rory. I mean, a playoff would have been great. I won't lie. But he deserved it, man. And Bryson, he's been so damn close for so long. I mean, even at Valhalla last month, just a stroke down and waiting to hope to get that playoff, to then a month later being in that same position that Xander was at Valhalla and being able to,
close it out,
put it away and not have to get that playoff and win that one. So hoist that trophy that he deserved.
I mean, so, a couple little thoughts about this. Obviously, Rory, they say 10 years. I think at this moment in golf history, Rory is kind of like Sergio Garcia was. And if you recall, and I know you probably didn't watch it so much, but golf at that point. But, at that point, he was fighting Phil and Tiger, like a great young golfer, had all the tools coming up, but just, took him forever to finally, get a major. Unlike Rory, got it done quickly. But at this point, in time, you have just so many great golfers, younger golfers. Well, I mean, Rory's only 35, but yet, he's almost snake bitten right now that he's going to be, the number 2 golfer in the world at this current time, which is also,
is he actually?
Yeah. So it's Scotty, Rory, and then Xander.
And then Bryson's 4, I thought.
No, because
it's the live,
because they're the live, so they don't get.
Let me see the rankings.
They don't get.
They don't get their rankings.
Which in itself, I mean, kind of stinks.
No, he's not anymore. So it's Scotty, Xander, Rory, Wyndham.
Oh,
Victor
okay.
Halpern.
All right. So Xander's 2. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was right. Although Rory has more total points. So I don't know. I think it's just the average points. I think it's the average points that actually gets these going. Yeah.
I wonder if Rory will jump Xander with the fact that he was second. And
maybe I think so.
Xander probably jumped up with his win. And now, since Rory got the 2, I'm sure. I mean, no one's catching.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, they say through the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday June 9th. So these haven't been updated yet. Yeah. But yeah, I imagine Rory might jump that. I mean, if you look at it, it's the average points, Scotty at 16.4083, then Xander at 8.7285, and Rory at 8.1178. And then there's another huge tier gap. Wyndham and Hovland are just barely under 6. So it's going to be those. It's going to be the same order, probably. It's just if Rory is going to jump that 0.6 right there that he needs for it. So you're talking about how he's kind of like your, Sergio Garcia now.
Yeah.
I was seeing this all over Twitter and stuff because that's going to hang with him for a while. That really is. That's going to hurt for a bit. If is he going to get another? I mean, that might be the best shot that Rory was going to have to get in another major in a long time, and just to choke it away like that. I mean, on a 3-foot putt.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you see that stat about his putting? Up until then, throughout this season, he has been 496 for 496 on putts within 3 feet.
Yeah.
And of course, that's the one that he misses.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate that his narrative now is that he can't close out that major, and being at 35 now with all these other, and especially with Scotty around, and Bryson can pick up, and obviously Xander won the one before. I think he's going to be stuck at 10.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
I mean, maybe he does like a Tiger thing or Jack Nicklaus in his 40s and somehow he pulls it off, one of these. But I think he's just going to be stuck at 10.
And I thought he could have had it because, those last 8 holes, he was just playing so well. And I live bet Cantlay to win.
Mm-hmm.
When he was down 2. Obviously didn't end up happening. I should have live bet DeChambeau. I thought about it at a certain point, but he was up for so much of it that like his odds were never really great up until the 18th hole. He was at plus money at some point on 18 after Rory's second shot and after Bryson hit his first, like
that drive.
He's hitting with the tree.
Yeah.
And I was like, this might be the time, but I don't know. I didn't like that shot. Gets into the bunker, then has just an absolutely amazing up and down to fucking get out of there. But I was thinking, when I was placing that bet for Cantlay, I was like, it could be Rory, but I feel like, Rory has that stigma. He would choke this. I'm looking at Bryson and I was like, well, Bryson's played great all weekend, but Bryson's been known to also kind of flutter out to the end. I was like, he could fucking throw it. Rory could throw it. I didn't think Patrick was going to go the whole 18. I was like, there's 3 guys at the top there that might not end up winning. I mean, it could have been like a Pavone or Tony Finau or something like that.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was a great tournament. Like I said, I didn't watch much of the first 3 days, but then did get to watch the last part of it yesterday, and it lived up to it. I know everybody raves about Pinehurst and just the course and everything that goes on when the U.S. Open is in Pinehurst. But it definitely lived up to expectations this year with a great tournament and a great last round.
And I loved listening to, I mean, it finishes and I was expecting Mom to go like, okay, let's turn it off and watch whatever. And we stayed and continued to watch the presentation, the trophy ceremony. And I turned to her and I said, does this make any sense what I'm going to say? So, I love the U.S. Open. I love the fact it's on Father's Day. I love all that, that it brings. And, everyone's screaming USA, USA, which was a bit, when Rory missed his putt there, they started that chant knowing that Bryson had a very good opportunity, which, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you want a USA, or American
to win at Pinehurst,
to win,
obviously. But like I heard that, and I was like, come on, guys. Like Rory's already beaten himself up enough about missing this putt.
But I've watched, the U.S. Open years before, every time it's on. I love this tournament, but having it here in my backyard in a place that we've gone a bunch of times. And when we were driving back, I asked the question, I know Sav's been now a couple times with us. Have you been around once, or you haven't been? Oh,
I've never been around.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe once or not. Yeah, you gotta having it here it just felt more special, and your mom agreed. She was like, yeah, having it in our backyard in an area that we just love to come and visit, and be a part of. It was just so special. It was so awesome, and just, yeah, I can't wait for 4 years from now to be able to go and
2029.
2029. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. 5. Can't do my math. But yeah, I can't wait for it again.
Yeah, it was certainly a fun time. But all right, that's all I got about the Open.
Yeah.
Well, the US Open. We have the Open.
We have the Open
in a month here. Do you know? Apparently, I didn't know they have that really cool, like scheduled. So that happens, ends off on the Sunday, and then the next Sunday, Olympics start, which is pretty cool. A nice little back-to-back weekends of some cool stuff internationally there. But yeah, so good stuff to Bryson. The one thing I did want to say here, do you put any stock into just how shit play Scotty had this weekend? I mean, he was fucking 8 over, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Very unique. I mean, obviously, we have gone to visit, and although we've never been on 2, we've hung out right there at 18 and had some beverages, which is just awesome to do and watch as just, amateurs come up and try and play that course. I really have to think that that whole, getting in jail and all, that emotion probably just finally hit Scotty.
Yeah. I mean, didn't he play all right at the Memorial?
Yeah, but I mean, I would have thought that with his length, his chipping ability, he would have done a whole lot more. Now, this was his first ever time here in Pinehurst. He's never been here before.
Yeah. So that's got, you got to play a lot of stock on that too, because I mean, I don't know if you saw this either. I think Pinehurst number 2 is a beautiful course from what you see on the TV and everything. And eventually, we're going to go play that one and have a great time at it. But there were so many people bitching about, oh, well, it doesn't look like the greens and everything's kept so well. And they're letting it have this, like, they let the growth happen. And like, it was like a natural golf course. And I was like, that's good. Like, why do you want it to look like a fucking front yard the whole time? Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Pinehurst is beautiful as it is with these bunkers that look weird. And it's just like, I think it's better because, these are like, these are hazards, a bunker, the water, those are hazards. You're not supposed to know, and they're not supposed to be shaped to be perfect for you. Like, it's supposed to make golf hard. And so I think the layout of Pinehurst and how they have it just naturally grown. Any talk about the greens was ridiculous. The greens were amazing all weekend. That is the one thing I saw. They were rolling beautifully. I think there's just people that want to see this nice and cut, clean, dry, Pinehurst. And it's like, that's not what it needs to be. The course is beautiful and it's fucking hard. That's part of the reason it makes it so hard, is all the natural growth and the natural hazards that you have there on the course. Do you put any stock into that in being what kind of took Scotty by surprise here? Or?
Yes. I mean, him being here playing for the first time, you have to have those reps, if you will, at this course. I mean, there's a reason why they're doing this here every 5 years now. There's a reason why the USGA has moved, and you put the hall and you do all that here at Pinehurst. It's a very unique course, unlike anything else that you have out there. you end up having the PGA championship down in TPC Sawgrass there in Jacksonville every year, and you get accustomed to that and all, and obviously the Masters. Yeah, it would be a shame if you can't have the U.S. Open at Pinehurst each and every year, but I understand you got to move around because it's our Open Championship here. But I mean, there's a reason why you're doing it in this location every 5 years now, because the course.
It's a great course. All right. Well, that was just the one thing, because I was watching yesterday and I was like, I knew Scotty wasn't in it, like in the running, and then I went to go check his score and I was like, damn, man. Like, I looked at it, I was surprised he even made the cut. Like,
I mean, you look at JT didn't make the cut and he was +9, I think, on day one. Yes, Jordan made it, but still he was +6 or something. I mean, this course beats the pros, and you say that someday we'll get there. I know the gift certificate you have. I think we have to try 3 or some of those other courses before we get to 2.
I think we should just try 2.
Well,
when the
2,
fuck are we gonna get the chance to try 2?
Well, the only thing about 2 is you have to stay overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's only for those that stay. So not to say that we're not going to stay there at some point as well, because I mean, it's a beautiful place to be at. And again, can't speak enough of the hospitality yesterday with everyone. We ate over at the inn and all. It's just a fun place.
Yeah. And
I posted, we did have, Mom did, while I was going to park the car and drive back, Sav and her grabbed a mimosa, and she ended up getting me the, I don't know if you saw, I think I put it on my Twitter, the drink of the U.S. Open. It was a Dewar's and lemonade. So that was,
I think I saw that. Did you?
Yep.
No, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't post it on Twitter. It was on something else, I think.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, that was still a good conversation. I know we said we were going to do that quick. That was just 30 minutes of U.S. Open talk. We thought we were going to do possibly a quick podcast here. But I guess not. So we'll move on here to the Celtics. Obviously, for those of you that watched the game 4 with us on Friday, not a good one. Not much to talk about. Honestly, here, game 3.
Expected.
Yeah, we expected. Their backs were against the wall. I mean, they didn't want to get swept at home. Game 3, I think we also talked about a little bit before game 4. And so we won't go too in depth here. We got game 5 tonight, back at home. I'm expecting a much better game from everybody. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, definitely. But also, we'll see if so, how much Porzingis can be involved tonight. I want to see Joe out coaching Jason Kidd again, because for 3 out of 4 games of the series so far he has, but just nothing was rolling for us in game 4. You got anything here? I do want to say we're going to save most of our talk for the game until tonight's watch party that we do again. We're going to be hosting it again on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube, A New Era podcast. If you don't already follow us, our episodes are going up there now weekly. But also, if you would like to go back and watch the Game 4 watch party, it is exclusively up on YouTube now in the live section. Yeah, I was going to say something about Twitch and Twitter, but I don't have it saying up there. I just have it up on YouTube because those Twitch and Twitters are on mine. But anything you got to say here that you want to get off your chest before, we do our pregame talk and everything tonight?
I'm just saying that at the beginning, before we started, I said in 5.
You did.
And I really, really feel more confident than ever that our role players will show up. Peyton Pritchard, Stamhauser, and yes, the Jays, they will show up today. Holiday. They're just going to have a lockdown defensive effort. Just scrolling before we jumped on, scrolling through Facebook, and there was, or maybe it was on Instagram, I don't recall, but there was a guy I've seen a couple times, and he goes, the NBA already have given up their the plot or whatever for today's game, and he ran through and he was just saying how first quarter they'll be up by 7, second quarter Sam Hauser will go off, hit a couple threes, he'll be 12 at halftime, and then continue to grow, and then Jaylen Brown in the fourth quarter is just going to end up with 29 points and just take over, and they'll win by 12 points or whatever to hoist number 18 at home, which is what we want to see. We want to see the greatest NBA franchise get the record number 18 and break that with the Lakers.
Yeah, get that back.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think I like what you're saying. I really do think that, they're going to come out here and just play their hearts out today. They don't. I don't think you got to worry about the Mavs back against the wall mentality as much as you did in Game 4. And whereas a lot of people were trying to put way too much stock into, well, the Mavs did this to the Celtics and almost beat them by 40 points. Yeah, guys, this game was out of mind of the Celtics players before I think they even walked off the court.
Yeah,
they was like, all right, cool, get it, throw it out, that's fine. On to Game 5. I don't think there's any hangover here from them. Think you get back home, you're rejuvenated. It's just like, all right, that was a nice little throwaway. Now we got it at home. Maybe this is what we wanted to do. So we'll be going over that live tonight. Make sure to tune in and watch that with us. Have some fun. We do have all the chats open on all those platforms too. So if you're in there and want to talk about the game with us, ask us any questions about the Celtics, anything else around that time, that is your opening to do so.
Yeah, your opportunity.
All right. So from the Celtics over to the Sox, we talked last week about what we thought was going to be a very difficult week for the Sox, with the best team in the AL and the best team in the NL coming to Fenway, where we haven't played that great at home. But the Red Sox just might be the best team in the league. Take 2 out of 3 against the Phillies and 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. Winning that series last night on Sunday Night Baseball, getting out of a very, very uncomfortable situation at one point, bases loaded, no outs, somehow get out of the inning, up 4-3, ended up going in there, putting on a bunch of runs later on to win the game 9-3. And the Red Sox might finally be trying to get away from this staying at 500 mark. Now 37-35, third in the AL East. I wish I had. Let me look at the wild card standings here. Wild card MLB standings. Because with that, I think we were like 2 games out, but now we're 3 somehow. Below the Twins. So obviously you got Yanks, Guardians, Mariners, AL leaders, and then you got wild card, the O's. We can just go ahead and say we know one of the O's or the Yankees will be getting that other wild card spot with whoever doesn't end up winning the division. You got the Royals up there who I think either are going to win their division or be in the wild card. Same thing with them or the Guardians. I don't think one of them is going to slip out. I think the team that we just got to be better than is the Twins. We are 3 games out, like I said, from them, 37-35, and they're 40-32. I just cannot see a world in which the AL Central puts 3 teams into the playoffs.
Yeah.
No. So I don't know when our next series is with the Twins, but that'll be big to decide, what's going to happen there. But we'll see once we get to that point. Let me see if I can find it right now, actually. Twins versus Red Sox. Are we done? Regular season series. No. So we played them once, start of May. We lost 1-2 in that series. We play them again. Oh, God. September 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Nice.
So it could go all the way down to the wire, and we could.
That's what you need in baseball.
You do. Is that our.
That's
I don't want
probably-
the first half. I want the second half. I want to see. It's our third
probably-
to last series.
Yeah, I was going to say second or third to last series. Yep.
Because then we've got Toronto and then Tampa Bay after that. So, I mean, they could even be in the running too. And we've got Tampa Bay right before that too. The Yankees right before that. And that's going to be a tough stretch. End of September. But we got a bunch of time until we start thinking about that. But, I'm really happy with how the Sox played this week. We came out there and we said 2 out of 4 or 2 and 4.
2 and 4. 3 and 3 would be happy. Yep.
3 and 3 would be happy. 4 and 2, I'm ecstatic. Really thought that we were just going to get one from both the Yankees and the Phillies, and they hurt us, and they ended up putting up 2 instead. So, great week for them. We'll look ahead here to what we have. We actually do have a Monday game this week. We play the Blue Jays tonight to start off a 3-game set in Toronto through Wednesday, have an off day Thursday, and then we start a 3-game set with the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati Friday night, Saturday midday, and Sunday around 2 p.m. almost. So definitely not as much of a daunting week as it looked like last week. What do you give us as a prediction for these 6 games?
Obviously, I would love to see it continue and us, putting some wins and separate away from this 500 streak, go 4 and 2. And, I think what we have to see is our ace, Tanner Hulk, absolutely killing it. I love the fact that they call him now the ace, which we thought it was Bello, but it's Tanner now as our ace. And yeah, I think our injuries now are hopefully, knock on some wood here,
subsiding a little bit.
Subsided. And that offense is starting to come alive. Rafaela is obviously his average is not, where we'd love to see it, but he still does some things offensively. He just has to grow into it. And our Jaron Duran, our fave, did you know that he has more triples than 16 other teams combined?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He should be an all-star. Let me start that campaign now. Jaron Duran should be an all-star.
Yeah. And it's great to see that this is finally now the year that he's putting it all together. And I think a lot of it has to do with that defensive switch out of center field and putting him into left. He's more comfortable.
Yeah. You talk about the offense finally getting its legs. I know we bring this up a bunch where it's just our offense can be there, but it can be inconsistent sometimes. Really, we worry about that 6, 7, 8, 9. That 6, 7, 8, 9 set of the lineup was phenomenal this week. I mean, even yesterday, I think every one of them throughout I think it was through the 3rd or the 4th inning, every one of them had a hit before our big hitters, like our Devers and everybody up there at the top of the order and Duran. And so, you get those guys moving a little bit, you get those guys to be able to see the ball a little better. And now we don't feel as if we're playing 5-on-9 offensively. We're playing 9-on-9, which is very good for the offense as a whole, and not relying so much on some big shots from the big guys. You said you'd love to see 4 and 2. Is that your prediction?
Yeah, I'll say that's my prediction. I absolutely love to see it. And, you know, if we can continue with, you know, Rafael went yesterday 3 for 4, 2 RBIs. If he can continue that and be that pace setter at the bottom of the lineup, yeah, I can see us continuing this and going 4-2.
That'd be cool. I've got 3-3. I got the team just, you know, being how they are still.
Yep.
Back to like a 500 week. But, you know, we go into a 500 week at 37-35. You go 3-3, and then you're 40-38. So we're still 2 games above 500 there. And then we can look ahead to, you know, the next couple series next week, which, I mean, and honestly, for the next like month and a half throughout July, like there's some hard ones, but there's also some easier series. I see, you know, the A's in here once. I see the Marlins. I see the Padres, who have been fluttering a little bit. I see the Rockies, you know, so there could be some opportunities for some series sweeps, hopefully coming up. We just got to, you know, keep the shit steady.
We cannot go 2-4.
No, can't go 2-4.
We can't go or 1-5. We cannot. We cannot have a losing
minimum of 3.
We have to go 500 or better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, to keep this momentum going. And, you know, wait for Tristan Casas. Can't wait for him to come back and just have that his bat in the lineup. I know Dominic Smith has been decent from time to time, but obviously surprise right now has to be David Hamilton. The way that not only his fielding, well, we knew his fielding would be there, but yesterday going 2 for 4, walk and an RBI and 3 runs scored. I mean, that's a surprise. I know both of us are not huge David Hamilton fans, but if he can manage the rest of the season until September, you know, and you know Marcelo will be called up at least in September. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%. If we're making a run. All right. Well, you said 4-2. I say 3-3. We'll see what happens next week when we recap and look ahead again. Our last bit of business here. Our GOAT, our absolute. I don't even know what to say outside of the GOAT. The greatest athlete or the greatest quarterback, our freaking king in Tom Brady, got his jersey retired on Wednesday. And that was it was a big event, and you know, it looked great. Him along with all of some other teammates, you know, Randy Moss and people that were there, were definitely holding back some tears. Very emotional experience. But all of that just for Brady, you know, at the end to be like, you know, I am Tom Brady. I am a Patriot. We retired number 12. A great night for Tom. A great night for the Patriots organization. Happy to finally get that last bit of closure, I guess, when it comes to Brady, and before he takes that next step into the booth this upcoming year. So I know, do you got any thoughts on this before we get into, you said you got a Tom Brady trivia?
Yeah. Yep. Our Tom Brady trivia. So our trivia segment will continue, and I have some trivia here for him. Yeah, I mean, I recall watching him in Michigan and having to compete, having the job, losing the job to Drew Hinton. Is he the guy, you know, his senior year having to come in and actually win one of the bowl games that they played in, which I think they were down going into that, and him coming back. I mean, just his competitiveness, his drive, managing, just the transition of his career from coming in after that Drew hit and just being a manager of the team for the first season and a half, to then just having that knowledge and just players around him, just elevating the players around him, made him, the best quarterback of all time.
Best player of all time.
Best player of all time.
Yeah. No, said it perfectly. I could go on for hours about Tom Brady, but I'm going to save that for a different time.
When he goes, so when he gets obviously first time into
unanimous first ballot,
is he? Do you think? I know that other sports have probably done it with their absolute stars. Is he the only one getting in? Do they do that? Does the NFL say he's the only one that year to get in, or do they bring in other
No,
people?
I think they'd bring in others. I don't know if the others will also be. I mean, there will be some that'll be first ballot. Yeah. I mean, he's great and all. I just don't think with some of the other guys that are becoming eligible for the Hall, I just don't think you can set yourself back a year by only bringing in Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rest of his class is going to be stacked with whatever guys there are. I don't even know the timeline of how that's going to, match up. But no, I think he'll be with a full class, but it'll still be that in which, we see Tom in there and we see a bunch of other great players that are going to be in that class, but that class will always go down and remembered as that's the Tom Brady Hall of Fame class. It's going to suck for some of those guys because it's like, yeah, you still made the Hall of Fame, but in 15 years they'll go back, oh yeah, I made the Hall of Fame, and I don't even know when he's eligible. I think it's 2026, 2027. Yeah, I was part of the 2026, 2027 Hall of Fame class. He's gonna be like, oh, you were in the Tom Brady one. It's gonna be like, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
So,
did you hear me speak? Oh, did you?
And they're just like, no, all the cameras were on Tom the whole weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But
all right.
Absolutely great though that the Patriots did what they did and had him have his own day, and that stadium was electric.
Yeah, it was crazy. I saw this thing. Celtics, like with TD Garden, because that was game 3. TD Garden was sold out. Gillette for the retirement ceremony, jersey retirement, sold out. And none of them had a game. Neither team had a game, and both venues were sold out. It just goes to show you how great Boston is as a sports city. All while the Red Sox were also playing and had not a sold out stadium, but still decently packed. It's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, to see that. Yeah, even in retirement, even as you said, even with a game not being at home, this is the reason why we want to do this podcast. Boston, New England is the best sports city we have.
Yep.
They're just true. Yeah, just true to their team. Live and die.
Exactly.
Live and die.
All right. Pull up this trivia here for us.
Let's
so we can
pull this
knock
up.
this out and get on out of here. Nice. Very seamless screen share.
Am I getting it? All right. So we have I beat Tom Brady. That was pretty quick, I saw. And then we could do the Tom Brady TD receivers. I think that was like 96 questions, or Tom Brady playoff opponents. So let's do I beat Tom Brady, because that was
all
just
right.
a couple.
Yeah. So
we got.
These are just the ones. There's only.
Can you name the quarterbacks that beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl? We got 45 seconds, and there's 2.
Patrick Mahomes and Nick Foles.
And
Eli Manning. Yeah. Eli Manning, Patrick Mahomes, and Nick Foles.
Why Patrick Mahomes? It's a Super Bowl, buddy. Ready?
Yes, he beat them when they were with the Bucks. Right? Yeah. Oh no, he beat the Niners. It wasn't Mahomes. Oh yeah, so it was Eli and just Nick Foles then.
And then we have, Nick. Oop.
I was thinking that they but no, he beat Mahomes with the Bucks.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes beat the Niners twice. That was fucking quick.
That was quick. 24 seconds. We had 45. It would have been quicker, but I spelled Nick wrong. All right. So let's go back. You want to do receivers or Tom Brady playoff opponents?
Ooh, let's do opponents. I like that. I mean, receivers that would take forever. Can you select the teams that Tom Brady has faced as a starter in a playoff game? Okay.
All right. Let's play the quiz.
As a starter. So did we play? I think we played the Bills. I'm trying to go just by rows here. I don't think he started against the Bills playoffs, right? Or has he?
Well, let's go. Denver, yes.
Yes.
The Colts, yes.
Yeah. San Diego, yes.
San Diego, yes. Kansas City, yes.
Miami. Yeah. Hold off on that one.
Yep. Philadelphia Eagles, yes.
Yes.
Atlanta Falcons, yes. The Giants, yes. Jaguars, yes. Not the Jets.
No.
No.
Or wait, did he? Did we lose to the Jets in like that 2013 or whatever?
All right, let's skip next row. Baltimore, yes. The Carolina Panthers, yep.
Raiders, Rams,
Rams, yeah. You think the Raiders?
Yeah, dude, that's the Tuck Rule game.
Oh, that's duh. Seattle, yes.
Pittsburgh, yep. Tennessee, yep. Houston. Ooh. Okay, so we have 6 more guesses.
6 more. Yeah.
And we got to get the okay. So San Fran, no. Chicago, no. Cincinnati. Is that could we have played earlier on in the career? Like, I don't know, like where they were kind of good right before the Texans were in like 2010, 2013. I just don't know if we played them. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Cleveland is a no. Buffalo is a big question mark.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Oh, we're almost done with the timer too. Fuck, I didn't even realize that was all right. Well, so let's see who we missed. Damn, Cowboys. Oh, I didn't even think Cowboys because of the Bucks. Washington.
The Bucks, yeah.
Didn't even think of that either.
You did have the Jets,
yep.
Green Bay,
Packers. Yeah, that makes sense. Saints, yeah, and the Texans. Okay, I did feel maybe about the Texans. I feel like I only would have got if I would have thought about the Bucks. I would have got the Cowboys, Packers, Jets, maybe yes on the Texans. I don't think I would have remembered the Saints or the Commanders there.
All right, 15 out of 20, 71%.
Not bad.
Not bad.
All right. Well, that you want to cut it there?
Yeah, the wide receiver, there was like 96 questions.
No, that'd be too long.
All
right, well, that's cool. That gets us out of here right before under an hour. So we did kind of keep it shorter, as like we said, we are going to be talking some more about the Celtics and stuff on our live watch party episode today for Game 5. Make sure to tune in on YouTube, A New Era Podcast, if you would like to watch there, on Twitch and on Twitter. It'll be on my personal Twitter at FRYDDY_ to be able to, watch those and chat alongside us. We'll be up for like right before 8:30, and then watching through to hopefully see them hoist it. If this happens to go like it went on Friday again, which I hope it doesn't, we'll probably be cutting it at halftime. And if it does happen to do that again, we might need to stop doing these watch parties.
Yeah. Then I think, we're the jinx.
Yeah, then we're the jinx. If they lose tonight, there will be no watch party for Game 6. If there happens to be a Game 7, I don't know. We might just shit ourselves before then.
Yeah.
But
there'll be a lot of talk about them being the biggest choke team ever.
I don't know what I will do if they lose this series, but let's not think that way.
Yeah.
So that is it. That'll conclude episode 24 of A New Era podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening this morning. Like I said, make sure to keep up with us on all the socials at A New Era podcast on Twitter, Instagram, A New Era podcast on YouTube and Facebook. And if you'd like to send us any emails, A New Era podcast at gmail.com for any questions, comments, concerns, or funny jokes. And that'll be it. We will catch you guys not only just next week, but later today for Game 5, and then next week for episode 25. See you guys then.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dad.